Hello there, welcome to my reaction to Elden Ring dunkview. By Donkey. By video game Donkey. I've seen that one, why does this say new? Anyway, I'm a bit late for this video because it was popping out my recommended for the last almost a week. But I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Nah. And now I run out. I wouldn't say I ran out of ideas, but I didn't have any to begin with. So, here we are. And I just remember, why not? I enjoyed the previous video of Donkey on Elden Ring. Why don't I do another one? Seems fair enough to me. And if this is a review, because it says dunkview, it's one of the shortest reviews I've ever seen. It's less than 6 minutes. Okay, for a game that big, reviewed this small, seems appropriate. So, without further ado, besides like, comment, subscribe, let's begin.
Elden Ring is the biggest game ever made. When you start, the map is like this, and you go, damn, this game is big. Then you get teleported
That
to
is
the
true.
other side of the map and realize, oh my god, this game is big. Then you get teleported to the top of the map, and you go, whoa,
Top of the map.
big. Then you realize there's an entire other world underground, and a floating
That is also
island,
true.
and a massive city, and an entire secret castle. 2 of them, actually. There are secret zones within secret zones within secret zones. So the absolute highest compliment I can pay this game is to tell you that I have beaten this game 4 times now. Right out the
Damn.
gate, we're ripping off Zelda. You literally wake up in a tomb, open a big...
I didn't beat it twice yet, but I am finding every single thing in my second playthrough because I didn't want to do it on stream, but I'm just fighting every single thing, every single boss area, hopefully item. Doubt I'll find every single item, but yeah.
Big door and the game says go. No hand holding, no bullshit, just go wherever you want to go. And
Yeah.
so don't fight that guy, and don't go over here because you'll die, and don't follow the beam of light because that's a fucking scam. Elden Ring's gameplay loop is to put a
That's not a scam
bullshit
on the
boss
map.
in front of you and say, okay, now go into the world and find something to chop his head off with. Having a concrete goal like defeating a
Damn,
scumbag
Rockbuster is
boss
good, I
makes
didn't know.
exploration feel that much more meaningful. And visually, this is a world worth exploring.
Colosseum.
Walking around in this game is like stepping inside of a painting. There are hundreds upon hundreds of scenic vistas which look impossibly curated and intentional, and the spaces in between are populated with an absurd array of creative enemies and bosses. FromSoft is famous for their enemy design, and they are really bringing the heat here, not only in sheer quantity, but also in terms of moves and variety. Penguins is in
Like,
this game.
That is true, there are a lot of variety of enemies and a lot of variety of bosses, but some bosses are reused, like the Magma Worm he's shown appears at least like 4 times in different places. But I myself don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with repeating bosses. It's just, oh, I fought this thing before, I know how to fight it, but it's now a bit stronger maybe, or some things like that. The only time I have a problem with it is when I hate the original boss. Well, the original, the one I fought first, whichever I found first. I hated the fight, and then I have to fight them 5 more times. That's annoying me, but everything else is fine. And like the main bosses aren't really repeated, even though I did find yesterday another Godric. That's very, very optional. Finding all of those repeatable bosses are very, very, very optional. You can just run through the game. There are mines that help you get items, and sometimes bosses in mines are either enemies that you can find as normal enemies in the world, or it's a boss you've already seen before or will see again later on. But those are all the mines and catacombs. All of those are completely unnecessary. If you don't want to upgrade 15 weapons and just you can stick with one weapon and not get mines to get more upgrade materials, you can just find them, pick them up in the world while you're running around through the main, should I say main quest line, or like more of a relatively main path without going like underground anywhere and stuff. Just go forward. You'll find everything you need, especially normal upgrade materials. There are a lot needed to upgrade the weapon to all the way. But if it's a special weapon, you just need one item of that level to upgrade to the next level. I think special materials are easier to find. Except for the last one. Anyway.
Doggy statues, doggy wizards, giant lobsters, vampire bats that sing the Halo theme. They got Pumpkinhead to be in this, stretchy lizard man. The list goes on and on and on, and you're saying, Donkey, please don't spoil this game for me, but I can't. This game cannot be spoiled because this game does not end, okay? This is Dark Souls 4, no end credits edition. But what's frustrating about Elden Ring is that for all the effort that has gone into the world and enemies, it feels like they only spent 10 seconds balancing this game. The difficulty in this game is best described as, what is the word I'm looking for here? Total fucking horseshit. This is an evil game made by an evil man, and whoever's job...
Especially Radahn. I sold Radahn first try on my second playthrough. Without any summons, which you not need to do it, because again you can not easily, but maybe with a few tries you could kill him solo, but you can summon if you want to. You can summon fucking patches to fight him as well, and it's not normal summons. You can summon much more for that fight, because that fight is kind of maybe even balanced around summons. I don't know, but still, it's not. I'm exploring everything while going through it, so every time I enter a new location, I'm already over-leveled for it, without going out of my way to grind, only going from new area to new area, clearing like every catacomb and stuff. You'll get over-leveled. Unless you die a lot and lose a lot of runes, which is easily doable.
It was to balance the damage scaling on enemies did not show up to work for the entire making of this game. Just from saying that, already people are pissed off at me. They're saying Donkey sucks. I hate you, Donkey, nitpicking and biased. You only like...
No. I'm disagreeing with Donkey here with difficulty. Yeah, there are some difficult boss fights, and there are some, like, if you get hit by one ability, you're gonna get staggered to get hit 13 more times, if you survive that long even. But a lot of abilities like that are avoidable, and with a few tries you can no-hit run the bosses and stuff like that. Everything is well made. I'm not saying that he's totally wrong. He's entitled to his opinion. He thinks this way. It's fine. However you think is fine. I'm not gonna say donkey shit and whatever he just said.
Pissed off at me. They're saying Donkey
yeah, I'm not pissed off. It's just
you, Donkey, nitpicking and
how I see it, how
like
he sees it. Doesn't
but
matter.
Always remember, I beat this, and
oh, you did?
Okay. It's fucking stupid. And I beat Elden Ring.
I want to beat
1,
that too.
2, 3, 4
but I don't have a Switch.
Because why? Because I'm
the
biggest gamer of all time, and I say it's too hard. I am calling this game out. Not because it's a bad game, but because it's an incredible game that is held back by very poor balancing. Many of your deaths in this game do not feel earned, like dying to this stupid shit or losing 70,000 runes to the wonky platforming. So many enemies and
the platforming in this game is the best platforming I've seen, probably out of any game. Like a 3D game, not an actual platformer, 2D platformer. Just it. That's it. And I played a lot of games. And unless the game specifies that platforming is a must, which this game doesn't, you probably could beat the game without jumping a single time. Is that a challenge? Anyway. But yeah. Like, I fucking dare you to play this game with the jumping mechanics and hitboxes of the platforms you walk on, and then play fucking Dark Souls 1. I fucking dare you to do that. and then tell me that this game has wonky platforming.
This game can kill you in 1 or 2 hits, or kill you with a combo that comes out so fast it feels like 1 hit, or they can stun you into another hit, which also feels like a 1-hit kill, or they can just kill you in 1 grab, straight up. Having super aggressive enemies with crazy combos and unpredictable attacks is the fun kind of difficult, but making those moves hit for your entire health bar.
Yes, this I would agree with. There are a lot of abilities that do insane amount of damage, especially the more you go through the game. This From Software game feels like the one that requires the most vigor out of you, the most health. Like, I mean, probably Dark Souls 3 had some stuff, and Dark Souls 1 has stuff as well, but I feel like going into vigor is a must here. Unless you do want to spend hours to perfect the fight to be a no-hit run. Because in late game, not just bosses would have abilities that will one-shot you. Sorry. Every ability of the boss will one-shot you. So I feel like they force you to get quite a bit of vigor. Anyway.
Is fucking lame and cheap. Rewards. Now, what's fun about Elden Ring's rewards is you never know what you're gonna get. What sucks about that is you end up struggling in a cave for an hour to get a wizard staff that you can't even use. Look at this dude. He cannot actually turn around to attack you. He is worth 3,300 XP. Then you have this guy who can do this, and he can say this, or he can say this, and he has this move too. This guy, who has a ton of health by the way, is worth 3,800 XP. Only 500 more than the guy who can't turn around. Ow, what? You think that's fucked up though?
Yeah.
Look at these guys. They're literally sleeping. Watch what happens when I hit L2.
You hit L2 twice here.
I just got 20,000 XP for that. There are so many different weapons and spells and summons and special moves in this game that should make
some enemies, I guess, considered more late game enemies, even if they don't have a fuck ton of XP, like a Crucible Knight. So they give you more runes. I do agree that the rune balancing is kind of off.
Elden Ring a wonderland for experimentation, but because the upgrade system is so rigid and stingy, you feel discouraged from creating wacky builds. And then on top of that, you have this late game difficulty spike where it feels like your character just got reset back to level 1. The end game bosses are so brutal and so fast that it ultimately funnels every player into using the same broken builds.
Kind of, not really. For example, when I fought Melinia is in a very optional fight. Very, very far away. You have to go out of your way to get to her. And that, like, she doesn't have an ability that one-shots you. Except for that one. That is the bane of my existence when I fight Melinia. That flurry of attacks when she flies around the fucking map. But everything else is relatively fine. She's very avoidable, especially if you spend, like, I don't know, 5 hours like me. But me and another person, a friend, played entirely different builds still. And I wouldn't call any of them broken. I didn't beat her until I started using weaknesses that she has. Because it's just fight felt very long, and I did use a mimic tier, but now if you're aggressive, she staggers a lot as well. There's a lot of things you can use, so I used that. But while my friend didn't use a mimic tier, and he had a magic build, and I just had Star Scourge Greatsword. So you still could just level enough. The game doesn't need any grinding. You will be, if you play well, relatively well, you'll be over leveled.
Fast that it ultimately funnels every player into using the same broken builds. It's probably starting to sound like I hate this game, but try to remember. I beat this big ass game 4 times.
16 hours? To just run through it? The samurai? What bullshit is that the last 2 bosses apparently have immunities to any debuffs? Not debuffs, like poison or bleeding or frost? Anyway, I guess so they can be cheesed. But it's just a weird thing to do. I don't know.
Times. 4.5 actually. Clearly they did something right. Games like this are far and few between, so I want them to get this one just right. And the good news is that most of the problems with Elden Ring can be fixed by one dude with a slider tool. Just turn enemy damage down by 20, 30, 70%, and we're back in business.
1, 2, 3, 4, hit!
It requires you to go into vigor. It requires you to kind of waste a lot of levels into vigor, so you're not able to make a broken build and give yourself, I don't know, 99 strength, 99 dex, and then leave at 20 vigor or something. Unless you play in a fucking, you are able to do a level 1 run like fucking Lobos or some shit. Insane. But a lot of attacks are avoidable, like the last one. They have, if the attack is very, very fast and like has no tell or almost no tell, and then just one shots you, well, not necessarily one shot, just has a lot of damage. That's shit. In my opinion, that's unfair. On the other hand, if the attack has a big tell that it's happening, or big wind up, so you know which attack is coming, and then you can dodge it. It can do whatever the fucking damage it likes, in my opinion. Maybe not whatever damage, because, well, I guess fucking up those games and From Software games require you to be pretty much perfect if you wanna finish the fight in less than 5 hours. But yeah. But still, I think if the attack has a tell, like the last one, like the cat dropping on your head, cat flies up, it makes a noise, and it's like stops flying up and then falls down. You know when it happens. It's annoying when you miss the dodge. But if you paying attention, it's very easy to avoid. Like, I'm waiting for the cats to do that attack so I can wail on them. Because it's one of the easiest attacks to dodge, and it's not just fire breathing out of 3 fucking heads. But you can play however you want. I'm not shitting you for being not able to do this, but maybe you'll be able to solo. Why am I saying solo? To kill Malini on the first try. I don't know. It's totally up to you. Everybody has different strengths and weaknesses. Everybody has their own fun. Want to be a magic build? Go ahead. Want to make a bleed build? Be careful on the last 2 bosses. Want to go frost, poison, whatever? Be careful on the last 2 bosses. But you can do that, and you can have fun anyway. It doesn't matter. Overall. But I should stop rambling. I'm probably contradicting myself 15 times. 20! I tuned 5 minutes into 20? Yeah, I should stop rambling. So, thank you everybody who watched this. I appreciate it a lot, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye. Have a great life, because one of us has to.